Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us again for this episode of Immigration Talk, talking about U.S. immigration, helping you to get where you need to go. I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi with my wonderful associate attorney, immigration lawyer Anna Sergeeva. We're here to break down immigration, in particular in this episode about Form I-693, the medical exam that you have to do when you're going to get a green card. Very important because of a lot of issues that Anya's going to talk about in a moment. But before we start, I want to let you know that we have a checklist of what you need to know about this form when you're getting it. You can download it. The description of how to do that is in the section below of the video you're watching or the podcast you're listening to. It includes a checklist of the form itself, what should be on there, what you should watch out for, how to contact the doctor, what to ask, all that kind of stuff, a lot of details, as well as a copy of a completed Form I-693 for the medical that was accepted by USCIS. You can't fully compare it. This is general legal guidance, only educational, not intended for individual legal advice, but it helps you kind of get understanding of how these things look, because you're never going to see this form more than once in your life. You just want to get it done right, especially if you don't have an immigration lawyer helping you. It's just a bit of information that could help. So Anya, why do you need to worry about this issue, and how bad has it been recently with our clients that we've seen have this issue?
It's very important, because if it's not done properly the first time, it can significantly delay your case, and only God knows how much more time it can take. Potentially, you would need to take a second medical exam. It's going to take more time. It's going to take more money. We see these issues pop up recently a lot. So that's why we decided to make this video to help the community, to help not only our clients. And these errors are very, very costly.
Yeah,
in terms of money, and in terms of time, and in terms of it can cost you a green card.
Exactly. And so we have a checklist that goes into a lot more detail. We don't want to say all of it here because it's just going to take forever. So you could download the checklist, but brief general overview I want to mention. The point of this medical exam is make sure you have a healthy background, both physically and mentally. They even ask about drug and alcohol abuse, any psychological problems, and that you got the set of vaccines that are required. It's just part of it, including the COVID vaccine right now as we're recording this. So these health conditions can prevent you from getting a green card. In some conditions, the doctors will waive it on their own, or you can request a full-on waiver in some cases. We're not going to get to waivers here because that's a more complex kind of issue, but that's what the point of the form is about. They want you to make sure you're medically fit, and that's what they're trying to find out. So, Anya, could you fill us in on some specific issues that people should watch out for that we see a lot in these cases?
Right. So first thing is when to do the medical. Okay, so there are a couple options here. You can do the medical before you file in for adjustment of status. You can do the medical after you you already filed for adjustment of status, and the rules are different for two of those options. So, for example, if you do your medical exam before you file in for adjustment of status, there is this temporary exception to this rule because of COVID. But usually, the medical exam has to be signed by the doctor 60 days before filing Form I-485. So, for example, if your doctor signed, it's been already like 61 days after your doctor filed signed the Form I-693, you cannot file it together with the adjustment of status application. So this is very important. If you decide to do the medical exam after you already filed your adjustment of status application, okay, general rule is that it is valid for 2 years since the doctor signs the form. So that's it. Second thing that we see often that you have to, if you decide to do it after the filing, okay, you can bring it to interview. You can submit it if this sent you request for evidence. You can submit it together with your response to the request of evidence. It's not generally advisable to send your medical exam if USCIS has not asked you for that. Okay, yeah. So it's always better either to submit it with RFE response, request for evidence response, or to bring it to the interview. And sometimes what we see, unfortunately, for example, when client goes to the interview without the attorney, you know, it's a very stressful process. And some people, they just forget to hand their medical exam to the interviewing officer. And this itself can cause very, very huge issues later on. So, Yeah, please don't forget, if you bring it to the interview, don't forget to present it to the adjudicating
Yeah, you
officer.
want to make sure it's in the file. They don't notice 6 months, 9 months later, it becomes problematic. So that's with regard to time is really important. But also then it becomes important is who the doctor is that you choose. It just can't be any doctor. You has to be doctors that are, for USCIS, if you do adjustment of status, or registered, what are called civil surgeons. They have a website. If you just type in civil surgeon onto Google, it'll come up the USCIS.gov website where you put your zip code in there, and it tells you doctors around you. You can go to any of them. But just make sure it's an actual doctor that's on the list. Not any doctor could do this. And then the next thing is when you call, what to think about. Ani, if you have some notes on that.
Yeah, so when you call around, reach out to not to one person, but to a couple offices, 3, maybe 4, because you should ask not only about the price, because price would vary drastically, depend on where you are, your geographical location, and other factors. But also, you have always asked the office if they're gonna provide you with the complete copy of your medical exam form. Okay, if there is no copy, then don't go there.
Yeah, you gotta make sure to do it. Sometimes they don't, and sometimes we have to fight them and challenge them and say this is by law required, both on the doctor's regulations and by USCIS itself. And they're trained, they do it. A lot of doctors don't give it. It becomes really important because recently we had a case where a doctor made a bunch of mistakes, and then we had to fight to get it. Once we got it, realized the doctor made so many errors that they had to redo it. So you want to get that. And then you gotta check to make sure everything in it is correct. So actually, we're gonna go through it right now. I'm gonna share my screen to be able to talk about what it is that you need to look out for.
Yes, and the checklist that we created that John mentioned at the very beginning of this video, please check it out. It's very helpful. We're gonna go about some things that we included there. So please download it below. The link will be below this video.
Definitely. So this is
Okay.
the form I-693. Go ahead, Anya.
Yeah, so the key thing, first, one of the first thing you have to look at is that all the boxes are checked. Okay, but most importantly is that your doctor uses the most recent edition of the form. So you can see here it's form I-693. It's on the bottom left corner, and the edition date is 09/13 what 2021. This is the most recent form.
As of the recording, so if you watch it later, it might be different.
Yeah, please, always, if you're going to be watching it like a year from now, this might not be the most recent edition. The most recent edition, you can find it on the USCIS website. John, if you can switch to this to USCIS webpage.
Sure.
Yeah.
If you go to USCIS.gov/I-693 and you scroll down, there'll be a part that says edition date. You click on that and it'll tell you which one it is. 09/13/21 recording. This is the proper one. It could change. USCIS updates the stuff without much fanfare or much warning. And one quick note is sometimes the form may say it's expired, even though it's not. This is what you go by on this page on the edition date.
Correct. So then going back to the form, you check the edition date. It looks fine. Don't look really at the expiration date. It's on the top right corner because for the most part it doesn't mean anything. So
Yeah,
don't
it's
look at
already
them.
expired. Yeah, but it's still being used.
Yeah. But USCIS still uses it. Yeah. So don't. Okay. So then make sure that your name is correct. Your other biographical data is correct. Actually, you have to fill in this part, not the civil surgeon. So please make sure that you're doing the right way.
Your current
Okay.
legal name and stuff. If you got married, you change your name, make sure it's right in the right spots, and your proper address, an alien number as well.
An alien number, 2 alien number, and your name have to will be pop at the every page on the top. So you'll have your name and the alien number, right? So important thing is that you have to sign the form. Not just the doctor signs the form, but you also sign the form and date the form. And if you use an interpreter, they have to sign and date the form as well, together with the doctor. So please don't forget to sign. Okay. Then some doctors, they forget to include this identification information. yeah, you can present your passport, your driver's license, depending on what you have. So unfortunately, some doctors, they omit this part, and it has to be filled out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Then it's called
This is the
summary
big
of
part
medical
right here. Yeah,
information.
summary of finding. This is the main thing. No class A, because if you have a class A, you're going to have problems. These are major issues, and we'll briefly go through as we go through this. But that's the main thing you want to have there, and list the date of examination.
Yeah. So basically, the rest is this civil surgeon has to complete most of this form. They have to sign it too. They have to put their stamp if they have like their doctor's office using the stamp. Two
Yeah,
different types of tests they're gonna
yeah, and
perform.
it's the different type tests you look at. You might get a chest X-ray, you might not, depending on if you test positive, negative for TB or tuberculosis. And the doctors do some other tests for some other transmittable diseases. Just got to make sure the doctor writes what their opinion is, and it'll be negative in general, not there. And again, no class A, no class B. They also go into any physical or mental disorders you may have. That could be problematic. They do get into drug abuse, alcohol abuse, and substance abuse, that kind of stuff. So that's a thing. But the main thing we see the vast majority of cases is this issue with the vaccine record. So Anya, why don't you go ahead and talk about how much of a nightmare this is for us?
Yeah, so it's a it's a huge tab for the whole take the whole page. So it's very easy to make a mistake. Okay, and for vaccines, doctor has to mark every line has to be marked. Not every like box, but at least every line that belongs to the vaccine, it has to be marked. Either it's like not age appropriate, or it's completed, or something else. So, for example, if the doctor missing one line, one vaccine, that's it. It's not gonna be acceptable by USCIS. So you have to make sure that for every single vaccine, there is at least one box is marked. And for COVID vaccine specifically, yeah. Now, if you go to the next page, yes, doctor has to write in this remarks section what vaccine you were administered. So it's very important that they put here like what they used. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, and so they wrote NA here. They probably should have put an X here, but it's okay. They put the dates you got the COVID. So this video, by the time in the future, may not be needed COVAX anymore. But all these have to have boxes again. If it's in the summertime, they may not require the influenza vaccine. Some of these, again, not age appropriate. So you don't have to get all the vaccines. The doctors make that determination. But you just want to make sure every line has an answer, because these are issues that could pop up and create problems. And also, it's not here because there's too much redacting needed, but the test results you have an additional 2 or 3 pages associated with this form for the tests you gave from the laboratory and stuff. So those are usually included as well. But the best thing you can do is download the checklist that we have to review that, as well as the sample portion that you see here. It'll help you have a better understanding to do what's right. Immigration has a lot of moving parts, so this is just one form. There's 8 other forms you probably have to submit for adjusting status, or 6 at least. But if you have your lawyers, 2 more. But that's what we're dealing with. So just want to be careful. Thank you, Anya, so much for helping guide the community about the issues we see.
You're welcome, John. You're welcome, everyone. Yes, please download our guide, and I hope it's going to be helpful, and it's going to save a lot of people the headache of getting new medical exam, of getting request for evidence, or not getting their green card after the interview right away. Because, for example, if you're at the interview, and there are some issues with your medical exam, it's going to delay the process, and you may not get your green card as soon as you thought it's going to be.
Exactly. All right. Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to get more information just like this. I'm Immigration Lawyer John Khosravi with Anna Sergeeva. If you want to schedule a private consultation, just email the office at info@jqklaw to contact myself, or for Anya, type in Anna, ANNA, @jqklaw.com. You can reach out to her. We'll be happy to schedule a time to get into more detail about your private case. Until then, next one, have a good one.
Bye-bye. Bye, everyone.
Thank you for watching this educational program. To get the latest videos, click the subscribe button and the notification bell icon. Also, help us help the immigrant community by liking this video and sharing it with your family and friends. You can also find us on other social media sites like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, and Twitter, where you find the latest updates on immigration news, policy changes, and tips. Be safe and God bless. See you soon.